Hey, this is Derek from Relationship Recording Studio. I hope you're doing well. So today we're going to continue on with the Hot Fixes series. So we're going to talk about some common issues that tends to happen and what we can do to actually fix them. And generally, it's not very difficult to fix them, but it's just something that you should be aware of and know how to do it when that surfaces and comes up for your own mixing experience. So today I want to talk about the most common one, and this tends to always happen for most mixes, and I'm talking about muddiness. So what exactly is muddiness? So muddiness is just a term that we audio engineers or mix engineers use. When we think about a mix, we have our lows, our mids, and our highs. So the thing is, when we hear a good mix, we generally are able to distinguish what is a low, what is considered to be a mid, and what's high, especially if you have a lot of, let's just say, for example, guitar tracks, violin tracks, and any instrument that lives in those frequencies. You could bet your top dollar that there's going to be a lot of buildup in kind of the low mid section. And this is what causes the muddiness for mix. So a very easy way to actually fix this is super duper simple. You can actually go over. So I'm going to actually pull up, and a very quick, easy fix that anyone could do is that you can actually EQ the whole mix itself. And it's just very simple. You can do this with whatever stock plugin you have. You don't need anything too complex, but what you want to do is you want to listen to your mix and actually do some subtracting EQing. So subtracting EQing is pretty much the opposite from boosting, what we're used to seeing. This is the boost curve, and we just do subtractive, which is the complete opposite of that. There's just a little fair warning. So make sure that if you do happen to want to do any subtractive EQing, especially on the whole mix itself, be wary that little adjustments you do on it is actually more dramatic and more incremental than just doing it on the track itself. Let's just say scenario number one, you feel that your whole mix just sounds very muddy and you just can't hear anything. Then you can actually go to the EQ. You can actually apply the EQ on the whole mix itself and actually take away some of those frequencies. If you know exactly what is actually causing the muddiness, it's actually better to go to the source. Let's just pretend that is, for me, let's pretend that is our bass right here. So we know that's the source. We know exactly that's the thing that's actually causing the muddiness. Then we can actually do the same thing, subtractive EQing on this bass track itself. So first thing you want to do is, once you figure out you want to apply this EQ to the whole mix itself, or the actual troublesome track that's actually causing this buildup, you can actually go to your EQ, apply it, turn it on, do what I'm doing right now, have the EQ, have the gain boosted up as high as you could, and then start to apply your Q. So make sure your Q is as narrow as possible. So this is great to just kind of do what we call fishing. And what we're doing is we're just trying to sweep through a certain amount of frequencies to see where is the problematic issue. So in terms of muddiness, a very common zone you can do your fishing from is starting from the 400 hertz. You can actually sweep around up to the 800. That's generally where most of that low mid, that muddiness is the most problematic, around those frequency zones. And that's somewhere where you can target. All right. So what you do is you just kind of did what it just did there. You'll do some sweeping around the 400, 800 hertz. And you'll probably hear what you're looking for is anything that sounds really like muffled or just sounds unnatural or just unclean to you. And what you do is, once you hone into that frequency, what we just did there, play the audio. Sounds a little honky to us, so it's just something what we could do is, let's just pretend that it's the 600 hertz. That's the muddiness right there. What we do is we just scoop it down a little bit there, and just be wary that whatever you decrease will apply to the whole mix itself. And generally, when you do it for a whole mix, make sure it's just your maximum limit is around 2 dB. So that could be 2 dB boost or negative 2 dB. The reason why you want to go beyond that is because anything that goes beyond 2 dB is more significantly noticeable, and that actually starts to break into affecting the whole mix itself. So that's pretty much for the hot fixes video. So try this for your own mix. You will definitely notice there's a huge difference when you actually do some subtractive EQing and actually cleaning up your muddy mixes. If you like what you saw today, please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.